welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman. You are now rocking with me, the Madman, and it's time to address this issue. The man or the bear? The women have chose the bear. A lot of men hear this comparison feel away. I'm a man who don't feel away. I feel like as a man you shouldn't feel away. As a man you should feel like, man, I wonder why this woman would rather be with a bear in the woods than be around men on the street. Right? I've sat back, I've heard this, and I've heard all of these explanations of how it is so offensive for a woman to feel like a man or any man will do something to him, right? And I understand from a man's point of view, right? Far as there are a lot of bad men in the world, a lot of men who've who's done a lot of bad things to women. Don't compare me as an individual to these men. Or, there are a lot of good men that you have encountered. So why not necessarily stick up for the good men in your life, even though there may be a significant amount of bad men that you've encountered? Far as I'll just put it out there as sexual assault, right? Let's just start off there. Um, and I say to men, if you spoke to 10 women, right? Let's keep this the scale low. If you spoke to 10 women and 6 or 7 women of those women said in some way, shape, or form they have been sexually assaulted by a man in their life, whether it be a family member, a friend, or a stranger on the street, you should understand why they choose a bear. Let's get straight to the point. The reason why women are choosing the bear is not that they fear all women. I mean, they fear all men or majority of men or whatever you say. The thought process is you already know what to do when you are approached with a bear. It's that simple. It's not harder to understand than that. So for men, understand you already know what to do or what to expect from a bear. If you encounter a bear, you know at this point, this bear may maul me, may try to eat me, may try to attack me, and all of these things. I'm saying try as in it could be either one of these things. This bear is not going to see me and walk away. Is going to see me and do something of one of these things is what I'm saying. It's not gonna like nobody's gonna like that's why this is why when you watch whatever, like go to anybody's YouTube channel and they say if you ever are encountered by a bear, this is what you need to do. Like when they say don't feed the bears when you go to these national parks that have bears in them, and they say be aware there are bears around, so cover up your food. Don't attempt to feed the bear, and all of these things. It's because it's a known fact that 99% of the time there's gonna be an attack. How bad the attack is, it depends on the bear. That's why I'm saying try. So they say, oh, you gotta get loud, you gotta get big, play dead. All of these solutions is what I'm saying that they are telling you this is what you need to do when you encounter a bear. But what I'm saying, So as a woman, and they're saying I choose to be in the woods with a bear because at least I know what to expect from a bear. Plain and simple, like I said before. I know what to expect. But as a man, I do not know what to expect. Maybe the maybe the girl you spoke to has never had anything happen in her life, right? But maybe she knows her mom had something, her sister had something, one of her friends had something, one of her classmates had something, one of her co-workers may have something have happened to them. It's most women in this world may have 1 degree, 2 degrees of separation between knowing another girl who has had some sexual assault happen to them to whatever degree it may have happened. I know women, as me as a man, that something has happened, and like I'm no different. Like I said to y'all, most of y'all probably know somebody who's had something as a female have something happen to them, right? So back on topic, back on the situation. Now that we got a clear understanding, let me even bring this up. As a man, how many of y'all have a girlfriend or had a girlfriend or had female friends that you said this to? Yo, I understand you got male friends, but you know, if you tried them and you say you'll give him some, he'll probably take it. So that dude is probably not technically your friend. That you're not what is it monogamous or not monogamous, or monogamous is one on one. I forget the term right now, but this that's not your, like, he's not just a friend. He's like a dick in a glass, as some may say. You know what I'm saying? So if you've ever said that to your girl or a friend of yours that who's a girl, that hey, your male friends will probably sleep with you if you let them, then understand it's not sexual assault. I'm not comparing it to that. But what I'm saying is, even in disguise, if you may think, even in disguise, you cannot trust this man to say, I'm just a friend. Think about what you put on men as a man. You put on men that, yo, men and women at a particular adult age just can't be friends. There has to be, what is it, platonic friends. Like, men and women at a certain age, if it ain't nothing sexual going on, or if not potentially something sexual going on, you can't be friends. Y'all can't be friends just because you're a man and she's a woman, and it gotta be a dick and pussy thing. See what I'm saying? So if you can't even be friends, and you're not even allowing, and I'm talking to the men, right? You can't even, you're not even allowing a man to be a real friend who's platonic and don't want any sexual energy with a man, and you have this man in her life where he's portraying that, you're giving, you're putting dishonesty and disguise on this man. Do you understand that what you're doing? Do you understand what you're doing as a man? You're saying this man is being untruthful to you. He's only waiting around for a particular moment, or not even if he's waiting for it. Like I said, even if he may be a good friend, but if you gave him an opportunity, he will take it. We're not even making men genuine. I put me in that too. I'm not here to lay it out. I believe, my belief is men and women can be friends and just friends, right? I believe you don't necessarily start out as just friends because I don't outside of work and school, you wouldn't give the opportunity enough to my stance is if outside of work and school, you wouldn't even give the opportunity to get to know somebody without first being sexually attracted to them, especially as a man. See what I'm saying? So if I meet a girl in the grocery store, I'm not walking up to her and like, "Hey, I think you are a cool person and we should be friends." I've never said that in my life. I don't think men say that. But in work and school where this girl is in the next cubicle or we working on projects together or we go like I said, we're in school and we got to get together in this group and do a group project or we sit next to each other and we trying to pass notes. Oh, you damn, I didn't show up yesterday. Can I get your notes from yesterday? Or we study buddies and all of these things. It creates an environment where I can get to know you and know how cool you are to where now even if I never looked at you sexually, I can understand how cool of a person you are. So now we can be friends. That's what work in school does. But outside of that, you're just not oh like a girl if she doesn't find me attractive, how would I be around her enough in her presence enough to show her my cool side? How will we ever start talking about love and hip hop? How we ever start talking about the NBA, the NFL? How we start talking about what books I read, what books she read, what we seen on TV, what happened on Grey's Anatomy, what happened on Law and Order SVU? Like, when will we ever have them conversations to say, "Oh, you a cool dude"? We will never have them conversations. That's so what I'm saying is we can never be friends. See what I'm saying? So, yes, it starts off in a sexual attraction and throughout the process, you may say, "You know what? I don't think we're a good fit," or "Yo, we so good of a friends that well, you'll never make a friend, but now when you make a friend in at work or whatever and you or you're just in some type of same circle where you always at the same social club or whatever, right? Even in that, it like I said, it starts off with an attraction. So the attraction, and then you're talking and conversing, and maybe at the time you meet, she got a man, you got a girl. You know, Joe Button song. She had a man, I had a girl, and ran that scene. But anyway, just gave me a little with the Joe Button thing. But what I'm saying is, so y'all become friends, but it may have been a sexual attraction, and I'm saying if it is not placed on the table, like, you know what, yo, I really like you like that, and I know whatever the situation is right now, we can't explore that, but I still think you a cool person. I want to be your friend. If it's never put on the table and there's a secret energy there that is never discussed, I think you will never be truly friends because it's just the energy that can't be erased. Like you feel you feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's an energy. You feel the attraction. You just never discussing it. Now I say you have to put that on the table so we both can and essentially discuss the elephant in the room, and then we could be relaxed around each other. But the sexual attention must be addressed. Once the sexual attention is addressed, then y'all could actually be friends. If it's never addressed and y'all both are just harboring these feelings, all of the innuendos and the flirting, it'll just always exist. Like, you can still flirt as once you put it out there, but when it's secretive, it's just something to me, and that's just my stance on it. But back to the original topic. Men, we don't grant the space for men to just be genuine, right? As friends. So when a woman is saying, "Yo, you tell me," like they don't articulate it like this, but if they're saying, yo, you're telling me I can't even trust my friends. There are crazy people on the streets, men in the streets. There, it could happen from a family member. It can happen from a friend. It could be happen, and you know the statistics say most of the people you are hurt by is somebody close to you or somebody you thought you had a connection with. And there is it's to me, I don't see why it's so hard to fathom as a man that women could just choose to bear because it's just such an unknown with men. It's just such so much unknown with men. I don't get how y'all don't get that it's not attack on good men. And yes, the analogy or the circumstances of this question is extreme. But we have to make the extreme so you really understand how, like, it's not a game. Like when you when a person doesn't make an analogy extreme, people don't take it as serious. People think, I man, it's just one or two. It ain't nothing. No, make the situation extreme. Yo, would you rather be with a man on the street or a bear in the woods? And everybody's gonna understand this bear is gonna kill you. But at least I understand the bear. This man may not kill me, but he'll leave me traumatized. He'll leave me in a I when a person is innocent per se, right? Far as like an innocence of a child, and that child is then assaulted in a way, that innocence is gone. So what I'm saying is when a woman is nothing happened to her and now she's been sexually assaulted, now she's been stripped of her innocence in that way, right? She's forever traumatized. She may not want to go to parties. She may not want to be around men anymore. She may not want to be this and that. It causes relationship issues, trust issues, all of these things. So even though this man may not kill me or put me in a position where I'm totally disfigured and can't walk again or handicapped like a bear would if you were to survive a bear attack, the mental scar that sexual assault will leave for her as a person and for her to pass on to her offspring or pass on to her partner and pass on to any men she encounters may be 1,000 times worse. And like I said, and, and most of these things come from, like, I don't know the exact statistics. I don't claim to. I'm not aware of them, but the amount I can imagine, the amount of people who were sexually assaulted by a stranger versus the amount of people who are sexually assaulted by in a space. I'm not even gonna say by somebody. I'm gonna say in a space where they felt they could be comfortable, in a space where they felt they were in good company, safe. It has to be totally ahead of that stranger's sexual assault. Whether they went to a parade and they got groped, or they was in a crowd somewhere and they got groped. All of these things, it probably pales in comparison to what they're Like I said, they was at a family event. They was at a house party with the homies. They was they was with their husband and they was with their husband, their boyfriend, and they said no, and that happened. Or they was with their friend and they got drunk, and then their friend said, "Nah, you said you wanted whatever." And the girl is like, "Yo, we've been homies all this time. Why would you wait for me to get drunk or whatever?" And I expected it. Yes, I expected maybe I could get drunk around you, knowing you supposed to be the homie, and you not. Even if I'm trying to come on to you, you would understand. Yo, you only doing this because you've been drinking. See what I'm saying? Even in that, and I'm saying that for a reason. Bringing it back to, hey man, we've told women, our friends, our family members, our sisters, our aunts, when we had these conversations, yo, I know you got male friends, but even them males, if you gave them the opportunity, will take that chance. So just imagine she's really looking at this guy as a friend, and yeah, she got drunk, and yeah, she did come on to you, and yeah, she did try to feel on you, but when she's sober, y'all don't have that relationship, or she's trying to hold you to that homie relationship. So why you were supposed to know? I understand you drinking. I know you saying you want it now, and I know you trying to feel on me, but no, I'm gonna do right by you with you being my friend. If you really want to do this, and you still feel the same way when you sober up, we can do that. But I'm not gonna take this and say, oh, and now in the morning wake up saying, oh, but you said you wanted it. See what I'm saying? We got we gotta respect our relationships with our women. When we calling them our homies and our little sisters and all of the things. So with all that being said, men, don't feel offended. We, we've I'm gonna end it on this. I think I said this in too many videos already, but this is just another video where I still reiterate it. Men, we are becoming a society where we are becoming too soft. Everything's affecting us. Everything is getting under our skin. And I understand we got feelings and emotions and all of the things. Trust me, I'm a man. I understand this. But we can't be offended by everything, bro. It has to be some type of difference, and it has to be some type of difference in how we are receiving energy, receiving people talking about us, receiving society and social media and all of these things. We can't just be so hurt by everything and in all things. It's just not good for us as men in society and who we are supposed to be. So with that being said, I'm out.